Well, hey, Sharon and Mark here again with 4x2 Travel and bringing you answers, maybe, to the top questions for cruising specifically with NCL.
So curious minds want to know what's our
And,
next question.
and yes, and again, we want to give you information from our experience or what we've actually read. And if it's speculation, we'll say so. So, out of the Zamboni. Oh, and guess what? Today is Super Bowl Sunday.
That's true.
Now, so we're going to talk about watching sports on the variety of ships, which...
Can I watch my fill in the blank team on NCL?
What's the matter
on my
you?
cruise?
What's the matter you is playing somebody else in football, and I want to know if I can watch that particular game. And yes and no, like a lot of other questions. So it seems like years ago when we were on the ship and you're looking at the TV and scrolling through your options, my memory said that there used to be an ESPN channel.
Okay.
Years
in
ago.
Your room on
in your
the
room
t-
on the TV.
On the TV.
Which also meant that I thought in going to the different bars that we saw more U.S. based, sports that were available. Now, of course, some of the problem I think comes in as we get convoluted back to the question. We have now got how many different platforms on TV
Oh my gosh, yeah.
for watching events.
Yeah, just even for us watching here Carolina Hurricanes, we have our main network, and then there's 2 or 3 other networks depending on if it's broadcast nationally or just regionally or whatever. And
we
all
can't
of it,
afford
no, we can't
to do multiple.
We're just following one team. So
right.
I think the licensing has to do with what it is, and even maybe location, what's available to them internationally, because these cruise ships move.
We talked to the people at the internet cafe, and the big thing is licensing. And licensing, when you talk about 20 ships and however many cabins,
thousands of users,
that there are, licensing fees are astronomical. And so when we were just on the Encore 2 or 3 months ago, it had a particular platform. Now, I don't know if it was a platform, or whatever the name was not Hulu or Netflix or whatever that I was familiar with. It seemed to be probably more of an international platform.
And maybe specifically for cruise ships.
Maybe. But when you looked at the TV along with some old sitcoms and this, that, and the other thing, it had on there a sports channel.
Okay.
90% of the time, it was soccer, international football, or once in a while, quite often, it was also international basketball.
Okay.
So it's not like watching Duke and UNC or even the Sixers. It was watching, Italy against some other, team. And that is the bulk of now. Interestingly, because NCL has connected with the NHL.
Right.
I don't think that impacts anything.
Didn't seem to make a difference on our cruise, and it had just been announced. So maybe it's changed. Let us know.
But it still comes down to the licensing stuff. I think I saw, in flipping through one day, I saw one hockey game. But the reality is, if you really, really want to watch a specific sports event
or team,
you probably are going to have to do it through the streaming internet. You're going to have to pay for the highest level of internet and use that streaming service to stream the game from whatever platform you already subscribe to.
And probably you'll need a VPN because you're not going to be in the network region.
Right. And so it is theoretically in your room possible. Now, it would be interesting to know that those of you that are watching this, for an event like the Super Bowl, were they able to put it on the TVs? Now,
Or
maybe,
was it just in the bar? Maybe they have a different license just for the larger screens.
right.
I don't know.
You would think an event like that, they might even put on a big screen on the pool deck or at Spice or somewhere
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Atrium. But it would be interesting to know what actually happened today during the Super Bowl for a big event like that.
Right.
But I'm afraid that even something big like a Duke UNC basketball game, probably the only way that you're going to actually see that is by buying the streaming level internet and going through a something that you already subscribed to.
Or staying home and watching it from your TV and then traveling a different week.
Yeah, I mean, of course, if you've booked the cruise for this week long before the Eagles and Chiefs ever started the season, not knowing who's going to be in the Super Bowl. So I understand that. But just realize that with the way all of this licensing and the expense of that, the ships just don't have the availability to just scroll through. It's not like you're at Hooters or an ale house that have all of these different platforms and they'll just scroll through and put pretty much any sports event up on the TV.
Right.
They just can't do that.
Right.
So
the short answer is plan for the worst and hope for the best.
right. And again, please, if you have firsthand experience with what you have seen on the ship, then please share that.
Yes.
And that
Curious
always helps.
minds want to know.
Yeah. And in the meantime, subscribe and ring the
Like
bell
and share,
spike the ball, whatever you need to do.
comment.
Dunk and travel well.